All right. So, first of all, thank you again for having us. It's nice for us to see. We see some of our old students. Some of them taking lessons from us even from when we very first started dancing. So it's really, really cool to see all of your faces.
That was probably at least 16, 17 years ago.
How dare you date us? We're timeless. We're all timeless here.
Yes.
So we're going to get started right away. We're going to start off with just a little rhythm warm-up. Most of you, if you've taken lessons with us either online or if you've had live classes with us before, you've seen us do this. We're going to start off with some very, very basic stuff. You'll see us do some single time things. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
So we have our shuffles. We'll have our slower half-time steps. Our slow, 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 focusing on those releases. Go, go, release, release, and thinking again how you step into the floor. We'll take those slows into little step ball changes, triples.
So we'll have our triple steps.
Shoot ba-da, shoot ba-da, shoot ba-da, shoot ba-da. One thing we're going to be focusing on today, in the warm-up, and we'll break it down later on. The same rhythm as the slow, slow is going to be a little fan, or fan on the other side. Shoot ba, shoot ba, shoot ba, shoot ba. So just giving a little, not a heel click, but an open fan.
Yep. Yeah. We're also going to break up into some bow swing while we do our rhythm warm-up. So follow along as best you can. We're going to start up our music, and we're just going to so everyone can get nice and warm.
Yes. We'll break down the actual footwork later on. So just to get our bodies a little warmer to start.
Here we go.
with all the time. Sweet Sue, just you.
All right, everybody.
Just getting our centers, our feet a little bit warmer.
Yep.
We're going to start with some Balboa, some actual Balboa, and then we're going to open it up into some bow swing. And just like Mickey and I have been doing our past couple of classes, our online classes, we know some people might be together, but you also might be staying at your place and dancing solo. So we'll show all of the footwork, all of the ways to move solo, so you can practice if you don't have a partner, and then we'll show it together if you do have a partner.
Absolutely. And again, we can see some of you out there. So if there is a moment where something goes awry, you can't hear us talking, or you can't hear the music, please wave your hands like a crazy person. Right? And then we will know.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is just get into a regular basic, and we're going to take our basic and we're just going to set it in place as opposed to traveling. So normally when Kelly and I do our basic, leads would be headed back on the left foot and follows forward on the right. We have our 1, 2, swing, release, step, step, swing, release. Now this is an all levels class, so I will say just very briefly, since it's also something that you might be able to go back to, you're going to be taking that step back, back, together, swing, and release forward. Forward, together, swing, and release back. Let it affect your body. Let it, so Kelly and I sometimes say, do it big and ugly. You catch the ball, and you throw the ball. You catch the ball. You want your center to be effective, as opposed to just mashing against each other and doing everything so small that you can't feel what your partners are doing. You do want to actually have that cause and effect. So start big and ugly, and then end when you get better, small and pretty.
So what we're doing with this basic, rather than taking such large steps, so normally we would have a little bit more follow through, moving forward and back, quick, quick swing forward or swing back. We want to try to keep that amount of swing in our body, but instead of taking the step through, we are going to think of dropping it a little bit more underneath us. So it is going to stay a little bit more in place, but we still want to have the movement in our bodies, as opposed to staying in place and not moving the body at all, all right?
That is a different way of dancing. It's not that it's not valid, it's just not what Kelly and I do. So we do want you to think, again, of affecting your partner, having them feel the sounds that you do, etc. So when Kelly's talking about that down motion, let's think of that swing, that 1, 2, swing, release. Think of the release as happening down under your center, so that it's taking a step right, like if you cut yourself in half, that's where you would land. Same thing on your 7. On the other side, 6, 7, when you drop into your 8, you want that right foot down, right underneath your center. So as opposed to being on a track, where it's left or right, you're thinking of taking your release steps down and down.
So for followers, this means for my basic, I have my first 2 steps, my 1, 2, I'm prepping a little bit open on this diagonal. 3, I'm going to gather that right foot in, and then on 4, I'm thinking of dropping straight down underneath me. So I'm not taking a step back, I'm thinking of dropping straight down, and then on my 5, 6, I'm gathering, and I'm dropping right underneath.
Yep.
Yeah, so just to show the difference.
And most of you have done this before, but even if you've learned the basics 100 times, try this and make sure you're doing it a different way. Whether you're solo, 1, 2, swing, release, 1, 2, swing, release, 2, swing, release.
This is really good for a quicker tempo. Shoot.
How you lean, if you lean back or forward, you can start feeling different types of releases. If you start releasing side to side, you'll notice that wherever you put your weight, your other foot will release. Right? So if we try it with a partner really quick, we're just going to try a regular basic so we can get past it and move on. 1, 2, swing, release, 1, 2, swing, release, 2, swing, release, 1, 2, swing, release.
So we still have that shift, boom, bump, shift, but without traveling. Boom, bump, shift, boom, bump, shift, boom, bump, shift, a boom, bump, shift. Yeah? So the idea is as we're taking that shift, because we're keeping everything everything a little bit more in place. I have the option, and Mickey has the option, to do that gather as an uphold, or to actually shift your weight into a downhold.
And that's what we're going to be moving on to next, is going to be shifting for the leads. We're going to have a downhold on 7. So we're going to have our regular uphold basic. We're going to have our 1, 2, 3, 4. And on 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, we're going to drop down into our 7, 7, and 8. We're just going to release on 8 with the left leg.
Follows, I'm just going to do this with Mickey to save some time. We're going to be doing the same thing as well. It'll end up being on different counts, but just to save time, we'll try this together.
So we have 5, 6, 7, and
step, step, gather, step, step, down, step, step, uphold, down, hold, swing,
down, gather, release. So if we show that from the side, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, down, and 1, 2. Make sure you take that second pulse for the 8. 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We have the swing. We have the swing. Yeah. So that second swing, we're placing that right foot down.
Yeah. Think of it cutting just behind your other foot. So you have your regular gather, release, and even when you step that down hold, it's almost like you're kicking that other foot out from underneath you. All right. So, and you can kick on the 8. There's a lot of ways to accentuate that 8, and we're going to show you one of them. First, we're going to do a basic fan. So we're going to use that 8. We're going to have our 1, 2, swing, release, 5, 6, 7, fan. And we're just going to do a simple, as you put your weight down on this right leg, we're going to allow the left foot to fan out. Now, for the follows, this is going to happen on the 3, on the 1, 2, 3. For the leads, it's going to happen on the 5, 6, 7, 8, right on the 7, 8. So we're going to think of that release. So if we try that the whole way through, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, release. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, release.
Swing, drop, swing, drop. Yeah. So again, practicing, when we're practicing that solo, followers, I was starting with basically the second half of my basic, going back with my left foot. Once we join together, when I start with my regular basic, I start forward with my right foot. So the styling for me, that down hold, the down with the fan is going to come on the 1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's going to be about
1, 2, fan it out. Then I have my gap. 1, 2, I drop and fan. 5, 6, gather. A quick down hold. Then I gather. A quick down hold. Then I gather. So it's going to be a follower goes on the first half, leads go on the second half.
So if we do that, Kelly doing her part, the follows part, and leads are, we're going to follow me. So we're going to start off with that basic, and now we're going to change the times. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2,
follows go.
And leads go.
Quick, follows go.
And leads go.
Quick, down, release. Quick, down, release.
Step, down, release. So, I will say for those of you, everyone taking this lesson might be at a different level, and also it's always good to hear these things over and over again. Follows, if a lead's doing an uphold or a gathering basic, you don't have to gather. You can do a downhold. In fact, you can do whatever you want. It is a conversation. So if I lead an uphold and a follow does a downhold, that's my follow telling me that they want to try something new, and it's my job to try and listen to that. All right. Having said that, if every time I lead something, the follow is doing something else, I might think that the conversation is that I'm trying to lead, and the follow has no interest in doing anything that I do. So the conversation can be good or bad, but leads, make sure you are listening, all right, to your follows and seeing what they're up to. Right? Because in this particular instance, if we started this basic, the follow could initiate it or the lead could initiate it. It doesn't have to be lead initiated.
So just to show that, if we were starting first on this side to be able to see, this is all affecting that left foot. Mm-hmm. We have, first of all, leaders and followers, make sure your basic is a little bit more in place, but we still have that swing. And then from there, follows, I can allow that left foot on 1, 2, down, release. Fan it up, boom, ba, down, release, boom, ba, and then you're moving to the other side to see the leaders.
Now here leads 12, wah. If the follow is doing this, I can feel a turn out in the body. I'm not dragging my hips away, but I am releasing them enough so the follow can feel that I am paying attention. 1, 2, step. Wah, ba, wah. 2, wah, ba, wah.
Fan.
And fan.
Let it open.
And fan.
Yeah.
So, however much you want to relax into this, you'll notice sometimes people swing. When we swing the leg, it's the same timing, that swing of the leg. When we do our double fan, which we're going to do in a second, it's still a down hold. Your weight's solidly down on that 7 through 8. Right? So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to take our fanning step and we're going to move it into a triple pattern. So I would say it's a triple step in that if I was doing it with a follow, we can't see what our feet are doing. We might look down, but usually we're just going to feel it. If Kelly does this, I might feel the leg open up, but also I do feel the triple step. I feel like there's a boop, ba-da, a rhythm change.
It definitely feels like a rhythm change. So we practice this solo just very briefly, but the idea, instead of taking the foot, dropping, and kind of doing a little bit of a slower fan, let's just practice this on our own. Everybody take your right foot. Again, you're cutting it slightly behind the left, so there's no weight on that left. Shoot, shoot. Just taking for a moment on the heel, just opening up.
Allow your center to open a little bit, all right? It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be straight and like chests connected, right? Allow your whole body to open a little bit. If you watch Maxie and some of the old timers you may or may not care about, he moves his shoulder a lot. It's not because he's doing a bunch of counter body stuff. It's actually because when he steps down, the action of fanning his leg opens up his body. So pay attention to the way your body moves because of the actions that happen with the feet instead of isolating everything. So once again, getting back to that rhythm.
So we're just, as soon as we're dropping that right foot behind, it's going to start the 2 heel or the 2 fan opens. A fan, fan. So put the weight down the left foot, and then you're going to drop back on the right, a shoot, shot.
From here,
Yeah.
A fan and fan, and
A
fan and fan. So think really, it's like you're taking a step behind you. Take a step behind you. First do it without the fan. Without the fan, just taking that step behind. Step behind. Now when you step behind, I want you to allow to turn your foot out. Turn your foot out. And turn your foot out. Now we're going to add the rhythm change. A shoot, ba-da. And a shoot, ba-da. And a shoot, ba-da. For the counters in the room, this is going to happen again on the 3 and 4 for follows and the 7, 8 for leads. All right. So if I attach this to that same rhythm, our gathering basic into our down hold, it's going to look like this. I'm going to have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, not moving a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm thinking shift, shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shift, shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shift, shift. The more weight you put down on that leg, I'll say ahead of time too, or down on your right leg, the more weight you put down, the more the left leg is going to want to release. So if you really swing your leg out, this leg might get too far away from you. Try and keep it a little bit closer. It's a little cleaner looking if you can keep the feet close together.
I think about that aesthetically for followers as well. It's going to be the same thing where it's on the first half of our basic. Our 1, 2, I'm still swinging, dropping that foot on 3 and letting it open on that 3, 4. So 1, 2, drop, drop. And from there, letting it release into the second half of the basic. And again, like Mickey said, making sure the leg doesn't kind of like fly away from you. I really do try to think about keeping my heel close to the other foot. So keeping my heels a little bit closer together so you can see the movement of the toe. Kind of the further out that foot is, the more muddled it's going to look. So keeping it a little bit closer, it kind of pops a little bit more. So on the 1, 2, pop, pop, 5, 6, 7, 8. A 1, 2, pop, pop, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that 3, 4 brings us to standing follows, to straight, and then a little shift, back to straight, and then a little shift.
Yep. Same thing's going to go for our leads. So when we try this with a partner, all we're going to do is be shifting one side to the other. Right? So if I start with a regular basic, this could be initiated, as I said, from the lead or the follow, or you might even both feel it in the music, hopefully, and do it at the same time. How great would that be? So we're going to start off 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She goes. He goes.
The
Follow goes. The lead goes.
Open, open. Open, open.
Open, open. So we're going to try these to music. We will do some regular up-roll basics, then we'll go into our gather and release, and then we'll go into our fan and our double fan. We won't do it for too long, but we want you to see it practice to music, both solo and with a partner.
So, sorry, just to recap that one more time. We have our bass, and again, that can be an up hold or a down hold.
Yep.
Either one, we want to have that shift in our body, and that shift. Then from there, followers, we have our just down release.
Down release.
Down release.
Down release.
And then we add our double release.
And double release.
Shoop. If you're already super advanced and maybe you're playing with more lateral motion, keep in mind you can do everything moving a little bit more side to side. It's all gathers and it's all releases.
Yep. And if you can double click this way, you can also double click with the back foot as well, right? So food for thought. Let's try this with some music.
DJ Mickey.
All right.
Cool.
So back to work.
So one thing, and I don't know if anybody out there is dancing with a partner or if you all are just dancing solo.
There's some with partners.
Cool. A great thing to practice, and I don't know, maybe you even felt this when you were dancing. Oh,
Can you not hear us?
are we muted?
Okay, you can hear us. Okay, good. There we go.
Okay.
Someone did one of these, and we were like, oh wait,
Are we okay?
we're okay.
Okay. One thing that I felt when I was dancing with Mickey just now was feeling the difference when I felt him kind of wait to feel what I was doing, and then I would feel him reflected. And so seeing if you can really feel a difference between, for me, the one that had the single release felt a lot slower and smoother, So I felt this kind of drag, and then I felt Mickey drag, and boom, boom, open, boom, boom, open. The feeling of the double, the 1, 2, pop, pop, to me felt very different in the rhythm change, and I would do mine, and then I would feel that reflect in Mickey's body. So that's part of the whole really nice conversation. It's not just about the variation itself, it's kind of how can it affect your body, which will affect your partner's body.
We are going to move into a bow swing section, but what Kelly said is, it is my favorite part of Balboa. We call it the feeling dance, so don't spend your time isolating and trying not to feel your partner. Kelly and I could go back and forth all day in pure Balboa. We know each other's styles very well. We've been dancing together for years. But even if you took the pros, and I hate to out all of us, but if you took the pros in Balboa and you stuck them with different partners and you said, feel what the other person's doing, we could feel some of the changes for sure, but you'd see just how much you don't feel on the dance floor. And so for me, this is a place where even after years of teaching it, it's still, if I'm dancing with a follow and I get quiet, they get more quiet. And then I'm like, no, I want to feel something, but they might just never give me something to feel. And that is also, the follow might just love following, that's okay too. But I love to feel when my follows are doing an action, so don't hide everything. Moving on to something very, very simple. We're going to be moving into some follow stylings, which of course leads, you can try it on your foot as well. And then we're going to go do a move for the leads. I like to do stylings and then moves. But again, anything a follow can do on one side, you can do mirrored leads on the other side.
Yes, and all of this stuff, even the turn at the end, should be able to be practiced solo as well. But especially the footwork we're going to try now, which is within the twisting or within lollies.
Yep. So when we start our lollies, we're just going to think first of just a twist through the body and a twist through the body. When you're dancing solo, make sure you swing your arms. Swing,
across the body.
Swing.
Yeah, so we usually talk about the idea, whether you're a leader or a follower, if you had a long kind of flowing skirt on, and if you were just swinging like a pendulum side to side, that skirt would just hang there, as well as the arms being a little bit more loose. We want to start to think of the idea of actually adding pivot in the foot, and the more we fold across our arms, the more you're going to feel that twist through your entire center. It kind of starts from your rib cage and then moves down, that twist and twist. And one thing to really help, especially followers, it's on the way in on that left side, allow the foot to pivot all the way. So don't think of planting the foot and holding across, planting and holding across. Then put the foot down, let it pivot, and then extend. Down, pivot, and then hold or extend. So it's going to make it a lot easier to get that full twist when you let that supporting foot pivot. Boom, up. And same for leaders, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Leads on our side, twisting through on both sides is important, particularly if you want to play off your follow's footwork. A lot of times as a lead, I'm using a pendulum swing, which will show that as well. The pendulum swing swings in and forward, in and forward, in.
So there is not a pivot in the bottom foot when it swings.
Exactly. So oftentimes leads have a tendency to try and swing on both sides no matter what they're doing. If I'm in place with my follow, I swing through on both sides. I try and swivel completely.
That involves letting that foot that you're stepping on pivot in order to twist on the way in.
I don't try and stop my follow here because I want my follow to be able to twist on both sides.
And on the way out.
However, if I'm moving around my follow, I might engage, release, engage, release. Engage, release, engage, release. This allows you to more easily follow through in a forward motion, cover a little bit more ground. It also has a tendency to spotlight the follow because the follow stays in the middle as opposed to both of you orbiting each other. One way of many ways to execute lollies.
Yes.
So we did say we get into some follow styling, so we'll get to that now.
Yeah. So followers, this first one, I'm going to play around with just a couple of different stylings. If you're follows, even if you're leading or leaders who are out there, everybody try it because you can always try it on either side. We're going to try it on both sides. The first thing I want us to do is going to start from the idea of as we're gathering the foot, and I'm putting it down, I'm going to extend across and open. I'm going to put the weight down, I'm going to extend across, and I'm going to open. This is it. If you've ever tried Carolina shag, this is going to be a Carolina shag inspired step. So the timing of this is across, and I'm thinking of taking the foot and I'm kind of scooping it through, and extend, scoop through, and kick, scoop, and kick, scoop, and through, shuck, and through, shuck, and boom, bop, and boom. So it's still taking 2 counts. It's going to be a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and twist, and twist, and twist, and twist. A 1, 2, a 3, 4, a 5, 6, a 7, 8. So I'm really thinking about trying to stay as stacked as I can on top. I'm not trying to kind of leap out to the side and leap out to the side. I want to think of kicking across. I'm opening it, and then I'm thinking of dropping it underneath myself, and I extend.
Just for those of you who are watching leads, anytime you are taking a class and a follow is doing a step, try it on your end. I mean, these are the same things that you do, and sometimes it helps to hear it from both sides, because we have a tendency to tune out. And by we, I mean leads. We do our class, and then once we see a lead leave the floor, we stop paying attention. So maybe then waving my arms will make some people not stand around on the camera. All right.
So if we're starting with our twist again, our basic, volley in and out, in and out, and I'm going to prep it with my right. Cross, and cross, and cross, and cross, and in. And at the end, just to get back to our basic, I'm going to cross and hold, 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 hold. So I'm going to start it again. I'm going to have my in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Across, 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 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Try it again. And out, and out, and out, and out, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and kick and through, kick and through, kick and through, kick and through, and back to the hold. Yeah. So I'm really thinking about trying to kick straight across, letting again that bottom foot pivot. Then I can put my weight down, kick across, pivot, and through. All right.
You try to do that?
Sure.
Yep. So leads, and on our side, of course, if you see a follow doing that, it's a fun thing to do on either side. Just make sure when you're doing this step, that you don't kick forward and around. You need to make sure that when you twist through, twist your hips first, then release the kick. Yeah. Swing the leg in before you release on the other side, to kick on the other side. Yeah. You don't want to clip your partner, and it is easier to do than you think. I mean, I haven't done it in years.
You didn't try this years ago.
But I mean, yeah, exactly. I didn't dare.
Dare attempt this years ago. So you do want to think if I were kind of in a very narrow hallway, right, followers, and I don't want to think of opening the foot up and around like Mickey just said. I'm thinking of letting that foot pivot so it can stay, everything can stay stacked right underneath me. All right. So just to show what that would be with a partner.
And for now, leads, I'm going to stay in place. If I see a follow kicking ass on the dance floor and they're doing some stylings, I will often, instead of zooming around them, or I will just let them do their thing. Because it's a great time to steal moves.
Shoo, yeah, shoo, yeah, shoo, yeah, shoo, yeah. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in, and out, and in, and out. And follows, you could just, if you want to play with just one side, whatever, you can replace a hold on one side and just kick on one foot. But know that you can attack it on both sides, and on either foot, you can just decide to hold and go back into a regular volley.
And again, if you have something to use, whether if you're home alone and you want to use a wall or you like door frames, well, they can see it because I can do this.
If you have like maybe a corner of a wardrobe, so this is a corner coming out where I can play with things kind of pushing forward and twisting. So from here, I could, to get a little bit more compression all the way through, twist and a twist and boom, bum. You can even practice turning maybe into the footwork from there. Boom, bum, bum. So there's lots of ways to kind of play with that twist, and if you have something to use, it's even better.
All right, so on the lead side, we can facilitate that pressure that Kelly was talking about, that we can be just as good as a cabinet at this if we really work hard.
You work really hard, leaders.
That swing that I talked about, that pendulum swing, this is actually an action of getting ready for weight in and getting ready for weight out. So when I'm doing this with Kelly, if I get in front a little bit, I'm actually swinging my follow into my body and away, and in and away. Now I wouldn't do this on the dance floor, one side, the other side, the other side, but a lot of people get into trouble with this kind of idea that you have to be blocked in and everything has to be locked. This is safe, but it's kind of rigid, it's kind of ugly.
And a lot of times it's because we're focused very much on this right leader's left hand, follower's right hand, and locking this elbow. It's going to make it a lot harder for followers to twist to that side.
We're on camera now, so you can go back to this. I want you to think, are we here or are we here? It's a trick question, you see, because it's very obvious that we're over here. So when you do these lollies, as opposed to trying to concentrate on this hand, really think, let it swing into your body, away, in and away. Yeah.
Ba-do, yeah. A 1, 2, a 3, 4, a 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom, yeah, ba-do, yeah, ba-do, yeah, ba-do, yeah.
Yep. So we are going to just turn on some music. Leads, I'm going to facilitate. I would love follows to just be able to try this on your own. Leads, again, follow along with Kelly as the music starts. I can do this too, but I think it's better if one person, if you've got that one person doing it. Also, her lines are so much prettier than mine. It's crazy.
If you're dancing solo, go for it no matter who you are, because why not? You're dancing solo.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? So we'll try this. We'll try it from a closed position. We'll do a basic come around just to dance into the lollies. And followers, my challenge for you is as soon as we open up, go ahead and go for it. So can I show that once more?
Mm-hmm. If you're wondering when the time to style is, it's always now.
It's always now. So try not to wait for a whole 8 of lollies and then start.
So we'll start with the basic and a come around from close.
Boom, ba, ba, dee, ya, boom, ba, dee, ya, ba, doo, ya, ba, doo, ya, ba, doo, ya, ba, doo, ya.
And our job as a lead is not to freak out and be like, oh, what are you doing? That's not regular lollies. Do this, right? Don't fight your partner. Look for inspiration and be happy that they have something to say.
So followers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, with a partner. I need to make sure I have my counts right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 1. Yeah. A 3, 4, a 5, 6, a 7, 8, and a 5. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll try that. We'll stop talking, try it to some music.
Yep, solo first and then with a partner. And leads, try to lead it we're going to do it from a basic into a come around, basic lollies. I'm going to start my lollies in place, and then eventually I'm going to do the pendulum swing and move around my follow. It is more challenging, so that will be the challenge for the follows is to do it whilst rotating.
Whilst.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And can we try it to Sweet Sue?
Yep.
That's our longer song.
Yeah, we've been listening to Naomi and her Handsome Devils and Michael Gamble so far. We've had, I think, Sweet Sue and Slidin' and Glidin' and Crazy About Lester. Here we go. Right.
Cool. So just really quickly, because I know that's a medium tempo song. This is like any other footwork. It's hard until it's easy. So it's one of those things that feels like, in the beginning. And then the more you get used to keeping your feet right underneath you and being able to open up. One thing I found that can be easy is, again, focusing on one side. So if I were focusing maybe just on when I kick over to my right, kick through and hold, and kick through and hold, and shoo-ya, ba-boom, and shoo-ya, ba-boom. Just focusing on one side before you start getting into both sides, or just on the other side and hold, other side and hold, shoo, ba-ba-doo. A lot of times maybe you hear one thing that repeats in the music just on that one side. Yeah.
So for the last part of class, again, if you have questions and you came in a little bit late, we are going to answer questions. We're going to take a look at them after the class ends, so this all runs through smoothly. But make sure to type those away if you have them, so we have something to go back to. All right. We're going to move into our move section for the last 15 minutes of class. And leads, we're going to be starting up with something very, very basic, which is a pop turn from our lollies, and then progress from there. So everyone has probably done a pop turn at some point, but if we're doing our lollies, during our extension, remember we talked about this idea of one side being a compression and one side being a stretch. This actually moves straight to the concept that every stretch is a possible inside turn, and every compression is a possible outside turn. So you're constantly ready, if you lead that way, for inside or outside turns. If you want to try that as an exercise lead, that's me swinging, 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 and then from here you swing out, away, boom, or into the body, boom, pop. So that's a nice exercise we're not going to concentrate on. Right? We're going to start off just with our lollies, and we'll pretend our right kick is going to be our 7, and we're going to just drop into a basic pop turn. So we're going to have our 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the base move. Again, most people know this, so I won't take a lot of time on this step, but I will concentrate on it for a minute. We're starting off with our lollies, which we've already done a million of. We have our 7, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On 7, we're going to let go of this left hand. As we let go of these, we're going to stretch our centers away from our follows. And we're not going to jam our hands into the follows back, but we're going to wait to see the natural stretch and tension in this right side, so that we can redirect our follows and bring our follows back to us. Since we're on a camera, I'm going to use this line. Notice I kick to the outside of my follow. There's a reason we kick to the outside. We kick to the outside because the follow is going to go where I was. So as I come forward here, I'm going to be doing it out and in. This is my kick, step. This is our kind of our woo-wah moment. We have our stretch, release, stretch, release. If I add from here, this out and in moment, which for those of you taking this maybe for the first time, it's similar but completely different to a rock step. We have our stretch, release, out, and together. So from this side, we have stretch, release, out is where I make contact again with my follow on this right side. This is my second stretch. And is where I start bringing my follow back to me with my right side. Notice I'm not pulling in with my left arm. And then I have my in where I make contact with my follow, and we can move into our next step.
It's just a quick slow. So follows, if I didn't have the leader, I'm thinking of my lollies, that left arm is connected to the leader. And from there, from that stretch, I'm looking in that direction. I put my foot down, and then I quick, slow. A quick, slow to move forward. And that quick, slow does move forward. So from that stretch, I'm letting it go. I have my out, together, and forward on the end.
Yep. And we can do a few of those actually in a row. And I'll take a little bit of a step back. So we have this from here. 7, 8, out and in. Step, step, kick. So I'm going to do that a few times in a row. Practicing this over and over again will make your footwork a little faster. It also gives you the option to practice multiple stylings on your own. But just to break that down again, we have 7, 8, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My follows here. I catch them where I was. And stretch. Catch where I was. And stretch. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Catch where I was.
I know. Yeah.
Yes. So that is the base of the move. So if I do that just from the beginning, we're just going to have a come around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3. Our follows have our styling. And at any point when I am camera front, I can add my tuck turn and bring it back. Yep.
For
So,
time's sake, we need to move on to the move.
yep. So the move we're going to be going into is going to be a roll off. It's going to look like this. So we'll have our lollies 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our regular pop and our swing through to connect and out and in. A quick slow. This is a favorite move of mine because it presents a lot of options for the exit, and I'll talk more about those in a second. So getting for a move, which we left to the end because there's a lot of people who don't have partners who this wouldn't apply to. But for solo people, you can practice this stuff as well. So please stay with us. We're going to start with that same idea of the tuck turn. This time, leads after we take our kick. We're going to take our step forward with this left foot. We're still going to have our kick, step forward. Kick, step forward. Remember I said we're making contact with our follow as our left leg comes down. All my weight right now is headed still towards the left side and countering my follow's weight. What
I was starting to travel in this direction, Mickey is now caught.
Yep. So if I do that from the 7, that's my 7, 8, 1. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to allow my follow to continue to roll through. And as my follow does roll through, I'm going to step with my weight back onto my right foot, and I'm going to take a step across with my left to allow my follow to fold back and behind me. If I do that from the other side, this is my 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. So if you watch again, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3.
So I'm just feeling a roll into my left side follows. So from the stretch, Mickey's bringing me in, and from here, I feel him continue to just roll me back out onto my, going towards my left.
Absolutely. So for my leads, the footwork here for us is going to be from that 7, 7, 8, 1, that's our weight on our left foot. 2, we're putting our weight back on our right foot. And 3, we step across and we release this arm. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, changing directions. All right. So just to see that all the way through.
It's kind of like if you were taking maybe a basketball.
Yes.
A basketball.
A beautiful dancing basketball with a candy cane.
With a candy cane
Yes.
outfit on. And I know I'm kind of wishing I guess it's Christmas time or something. Rolling it in, and you're trying to continue to gather that and continue the rotation out. So that's what I feel, Mickey, from this stretch. I don't feel a wall. I feel something that starts to round out. Yeah.
So I'm rounding through to the other side, and from here leads just because we're already at this point. I'm going to take I'm going to continue rotating towards my right side, and I'm going to step and hold. Step and hold in with my left foot. Right, that should take us to, I believe, the 1. So we have this from here, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can point to the floor.
Oh.
You can do one of these, as you like.
You can take a nice cross.
You could take a nice cross.
Yeah. And for me, again, I don't know this is coming. So all I feel from this stretch, from the prep here, when Mickey's bringing it around, my arms are around my center. I am watching Mickey. As I'm starting to unwind, he's already there with that hand out, so that kind of signals to me, catch my hand or else I'm going to keep dancing off the floor.
So that is the only part of this move that can be tough for leads. Well, for some leads. As you come through, and I'm going to do this from this side, it's a little bit easier to see. So we have this 7, 8 on 1, 2, 3. Again, the rule is my follow is where I was. My follow is where I was. That means as I release, and I take this step onto my right foot, I just need to place my hand down towards my center, look towards my follow. If I'm moving first, as the lead should, the follow will be just slightly after approaching in the same turn. So I'm going to catch the hand and I'm going to follow through towards my right side with the hand as well. I'm not throwing it, but I'm allowing it to follow the line of my body across.
Yeah. So let's try that a few times from that stretch. And you don't even have to worry about timing, but really
Stretch, release. We'll say 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll just say stretch, release, roll in, roll out, and catch. So we have a 5, 6, 7, and stretch, release, roll in, roll out, catch.
One motion to the left for followers. Let's try it again. A 5, 6, 7, and
stretch, release, roll in,
catching, and redirect.
boom. So from this point, there's a lot of different fun things. One of the reasons I do love this step, one, it's a great way to get into other dances. You could, from here, boom, you could roll into Charleston stuff, Lindy stuff. I tend to not use it for those at all, but I do a lot of behind the back motions, and a lot of, I love this, whatever is behind me over here, I'm constantly looking to do something with it. So,
but lack of time, we don't have time to get into that right now.
No, who does? So we're gonna stretch through, and for now, we're just going to think we're gonna do an out and in as we step through. We're going to step, step, and then from here we're just going to stretch and together a quick slow. So it's gonna be step, step, stretch, and together. So from here,
bring it
stretch,
in,
stretch,
out.
and I'm doing a little hold and back. A quick slow.
Followers, for me, I have options to hold or take the steps from the stretch. I'm just taking my 2 steps to come back to Mickey. I feel him pull me back from there, and then it goes out and in, or I can hold on that out and in. Step, step, hold, and together, and match the stretch from Mickey. So just to show that from both angles.
So we have that stretch, step, step, out, together, boom, boom, ba. Same stretch, other side, stretch, switch, out, together. Sometimes you'll see people do a little kick around. That's the same idea. We'll do a different angle. So if I'm here, stretch, kick around. That little kick around thing is something you can always add to those pausing moments as well. There's just so much that can come out of that move, and it is a line that Balboa dancers almost never hit. But it does fold, it does twist open, which is actually vintage if you check out some deck art and stuff and things like that.
So if we try this,
The whole way through?
Yeah, the whole way through. Starting from some lollies and then exiting with the moves.
So we'll have this be our. This
Want
is
to dance into it just from tomorrow?
Let's do it from a basic action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2,
Follow,
3,
if you want to
4, 5,
practice
6,
that, you can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out and together. A quick slow. Let's try that from a different side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold together a quick slow. All right. So a couple of little notes because we're kind of running out of time here. Do try and play with this move. Do try and make it your own. Right now, we're giving you kind of the bare bones of the step. You can have this take as much time as it needs. I try to tell leads, don't rush things. If you feel from here, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, but like the follow slowed down or something got lost in the lead, you can hold until the natural stretch. Same thing on the way in. If we're coming on the way in, as you stretch forward, you know there's going to be a hit. You can hold here a little bit longer before you stretch through.
Yeah.
All right. Leading double turns as well, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to try this with music 1,000,000 times. Just to show the footwork without a partner really quick. For the leads, this is our 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? You have that stretch. Just coming back when you return. You want to make sure you take that step. The second one, just make sure it's across. The reason you want it to be a cross is because you want that when the follow stretches into this arm, that it can stop you as you rotate. Whether that's going to be a kick around or whether that's going to be a pause out, right? You want to make sure that you're ready for however much weight is going to come into this arm if it's a little roll off, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with music
Yeah.
and being done.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, we'll start front pose position, we'll dance into some lollies, and then when you're ready, go for the actual exit. Go for the exit move.
Here we go. Try something a little bit slower. That was the ground count. There were many variations of the step, as we let you do towards the end.
Yeah.
So once again, we just wanted to thank everyone so much for having us out for this. It was really fun. It was really fun to see some faces that we know out there on the screen trying these things with us. We'll stick around for the party afterwards. But I do believe we are out of time. So once again, this is Kelly Arsenal.
Let's make you Fortanasce.
And thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you for having us. Thank you. And
Thank you, Kelly and Mickey. It was a great class. So we have 2 questions. I don't know if you can answer them.
Of course.
Okay, so for the first question, what was the name of the last move what you just showed?
The last move, what I call it is a roll-off. There's probably 100 different moves for it. Anything where I take the follow into my body and I roll through and past is the beginning of that step would be a roll-off. So if I was teaching this to a student, I'd probably say it's a roll-off into a hit, into a long arm hit. So anytime I'm out here, so this is a long arm step. This on the other side would be a long arm step. So anytime I hit this point, this is long arm. And so that would be a roll off, pop turn into a roll off. And they're not incredibly exciting names. You could give them more exciting names. Our names read like expressionist paintings. They're just kind of the basic explanation of what we're doing.
Pop turn into a hit.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And the second question was, I believe this is directed at Kelly. Do you touch your own leg when your leg comes in the lollies?
Yeah. Yeah. With this variation?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when I kick across, but when I open up, I'm connecting to my shin there. So if you find that you're not feeling that leg, your leg is probably too far in front of you. So I do think about trying to keep it, in order to keep everything underneath me, letting it come as much in contact as I can before I open on the other side. And so part of that is letting that foot pivot. So that's something you can even practice on your own, is connecting that foot and just pivoting that bottom foot. You can try it on the other foot. Boom. So when I extend, I'm letting it touch before I come through, touch before I come through. Yeah, good question. That makes contact.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, anything else?
Thank you.